What's up, guys? Today we are working on a cool one. This is a 1980 Sachs Sundancer. I actually had one of these as my very first bike, so I want to do this thing justice. It has all kinds of little issues and problems and all kinds of detailing needed. And it also has a lot of things going for it. Just like the interior condition of this tank, this thing looks factory fresh and amazing. But the biggest issue that this thing has is that the top end is fully seized and it ain't going nowhere. So with that, let's go ahead and start this disassemble and see what we can't find. So that means we have to take off anything and everything that is connected to this cylinder. So we're going to make sure that we don't rush anything here. With a little bit of gentle persuasion, we're able to actually crack it and see what's going on. And for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and spray some rust remover and come back in a little bit. And while we're letting that rust remover do exactly what it needs to do, we're going to go ahead and crack this carburetor and see how dirty it is on the inside. Take your guesses on how long you think it's been since this thing has last ran. Now, for those of you that have done mopeds for a long time, you can pretty much smell this through the camera, I'm sure. These are always the hardest carburetors to clean because this stuff sticks like crazy. So we're going to go ahead, soak most of our parts, and just take our time detailing this carburetor, which, again, we need some more rust remover to get this entire thing free. For any of you wondering what size main jet is in this stock bike, we are running a 52 with a 217 atomizer. With having everything soaked for a while and all cleaned up, we went ahead, adjusted our float, and carefully put everything back together and see if we can't get this bike running. With having a clean carburetor, we can get back to the main issue at hand. We are going to finally free up this top end using a forwards and backwards motion of kind of tapping it. This really, I'm not putting a lot of effort into it because I don't want to bend that crankshaft. Making sure to not go on any sides, just forwards and back. With the cylinder off, we're able to now attempt to get this piston off, which we ended up using a little bit of heat to help us out. And again, guys, I'm really not tapping this too hard to the left or right because, again, we do not want to bend that crankshaft. And now the main question that needs to be answered. Is it the piston seized to the cylinder, or are these bearings bad? After playing with that crankshaft, we can actually see that those bearings, you can't hear them at all. And luckily for us, it just needs a new piston. So while we wait for a new piston to come in, it's time to detail, baby. Which, as you guys can see, this thing needs a lot of it. So let's get into it. And it looks like something decided to make a nice little nest here, and honestly, it does look pretty comfortable. And after a couple of hours of meticulous detailing, this thing came out so good. I love all the chrome with that nice icy blue color. I really wish that I was going to be able to keep this one, but unfortunately for me, and fortunately for everybody else, this thing is going to be hitting the market very soon, possibly in the springtime. There's just one more thing that I want to address for the detail, and that is the chrome. There's a little bit of rust, so we're going to spend a little bit of time trying to get some of that rust out. And after cleaning off all the rest of that rust, we're going to go ahead and polish the chrome. This not only helps that shine come out, but also protects that rust from coming back. Actually lied, there's one more thing that we got to do for this detail, and obviously we're going to go ahead and hand polish this paint. With the detailing finally being fully done, it's time to give this thing some well-deserved new shoes. Let's go ahead and replace these tires. If you want to see how to replace these tires in a nice detailed video, go ahead and check this video up on the top right. With the new tires on, we're going to go ahead and reinstall this rear wheel, making sure that we line it up properly so we have even tread wear and there's no wobble in the back wheel. I'm sure you're wondering how I found a perfect match for this insanely bright red, and I got lucky. I checked out mopeddivision.com and I was able to find it. So shout out to them for having a super bright red spark plug boot. It's going to start seeming like a commercial here, but I also got these pedals from Moped Division, and I think that they really match the vibe. Usually they are black pedals, but I really think that this is a good color to go with this icy blue. Okay, time to do something that I've actually never done before. So if you guys see anything that I'm doing wrong here, please feel free to comment down below. But due to the fact that that top end was fully seized, I decided that I wanted to actually hone this cylinder and give it a try because, like I said, I've never done this before. I was able to pick up this little tool here from my local Advanced Auto, and it was only like $20–$30, so it was really inexpensive. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that that's a smooth enough surface? Let me know down below in the comments. With the cylinder all honed, we're gonna go ahead and get that old gasket off so we can go ahead and replace the whole thing. And luckily by this point we got our new piston. And of course we're gonna go ahead and install these piston rings to make sure that our gap is correct. Adding oil to our gasket prior to installing will help any air leak issues and make a much better seal ultimately. Now, installing our top end very carefully, making sure to lubricate everything, including the cylinder and the piston. We are almost there. We are just about ready to finally start this bike up. We have just a couple more things that we gotta fix. When we originally got this bike, it did not have a throttle cable installed, and actually everything was pretty much just hanging off. So before we go ahead and do all that, we're going to go ahead and re-grease this throttle and make sure that we're not going to have any kind of sticking, and it's going to be very smooth for whoever buys this bike. We're going to go ahead and reinstall everything back onto our carburetor now that it's freshly rebuilt, cleaned, and ready to go. Honestly, it's kind of fun to take off the old petcock because you never know what you're gonna get. Like, for example, this one, the filter got stuck inside, and now you have to very carefully take this out, and if you break it halfway, you might be screwed up. Luckily for us though, that came out really easy, and we're good to just reinstall the new petcock. Now, all that's left to do is reinstall anything that goes back onto this top end, like our decomp, making sure that that's still functioning properly, and replacing that old spark plug. And lastly, all we gotta do is just install this exhaust, and we're good to see if we can fire this thing up. We just gotta put some gas in it. And of course, this wouldn't be a classic moped YouTube video if I didn't have to adjust that float. As you guys saw, we have a little bit of gas coming out, and that's because the float isn't going up all the way, letting the float needle stop the gas from coming in. So just quickly bending the float, that way it will actually stop the gas from overflowing the carburetor. So go ahead and ignore the gas leaking from the carburetor because it is finally time to see if we can't get this bike running, which unfortunately it doesn't seem to be able to get running. Immediately, I go to the spark plug, which, after checking, it clearly does not have spark. There's usually a couple of go-tos that I go to before just checking the points, which number one is the tail light bulb. If one of these is out, your circuit will now be open and spark will not get to that spark plug, which in our case, as you guys can see, this bulb is toast, and it even looks like we're missing one below it. So I went ahead and replaced that bulb, and of course, we still don't have spark because we didn't replace that second bulb. So looking back in there, I went ahead and installed another bulb. After checking again for spark, it seems that we still don't have spark. So if you're also familiar with mopeds, you'll know sometimes these switches actually need to be grounded for them to work. So I went ahead, instead of just letting that hang, I made sure to install it to the bike handlebars. And with that installed, sure enough, now we got spark. So let's see if we can't get this bike running. And now that we got the bike running, I decided to take it for a ride. And when I was out just admiring it, I noticed one of the most common electrical problems ever to be known for mopeds. When I push in that right brake, the motor cuts out. And that's unfortunately going to mean that we have some kind of open circuit somewhere. So, unfortunately for us, let's go ahead and dive into all of this electrical. When hunting for an electrical problem, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. So we're going to go ahead, take all of the electrical, especially to that taillight, because that seems to be where our issue's coming from, and just make sure that we don't have any cracks or any issues in our wiring. Which, if you did see there, was that little gash. I don't see any bare wire, so I'm not too concerned with that. To start, we're going to go ahead and take this taillight apart and just check our wires, making sure that our configuration is correct. I have never once seen these brake light switches be the cause of this problem, but just to make sure, we're going to go ahead, make sure we have a good connection, and reconnect it. Next, we're going to go ahead and check the main wiring terminal, making sure to check all of our grounds and anything that goes to that taillight, which, in our case, everything looked great, so we're going to go ahead and reinstall that headlight. At this point, I was a little stumped, so I started to look at a wiring diagram. And I found out that there was a little bulb in the speedometer. So, removing the headlight just to make sure that this was all on properly. That light does seem to be fine. Then, I disconnected all of my grounds and made sure to clean up the connection just to make sure that that is not our issue. Alright guys, so as you saw from all of our troubleshooting, and we fixed so many electrical problems as we went through. You guys know that we had this little bulb in there. You guys saw it. It was shorting out. It would light up for a second and then it would stop. But huge shout out to Will Deloze. And if I said that wrong, I apologize. But he's a moderator on the Lover of Socks page on Facebook. He said to check my wattage. I didn't even think about that. So if you want to take a closer look, we got a bigger bulb in there. And this is, I actually don't know the wattage of this bulb. It's 21 watt. So, fortunately, but unfortunately, because I wasted so much time yesterday. There it is. Check that again real quick, everybody. Didn't do that earlier. I could be running out of gas too. I might be like just out of gas. So honestly, I let this thing run all night long. Leave all night long, seriously. I'm gonna get a little smoky in here for a second. I'm definitely going to do a lot more trial and error, make sure it doesn't die at all. And who knows, it might even need more wattage. But such a simple fix, and I'm super bummed out because I wasted a lot of time yesterday working on this. So there it is, guys. Let's go ahead, dress this thing all up, clean this exhaust. This thing's all done, baby. And with that, we're good to go ahead and dress this thing back up. So we're going to go ahead and install anything that was not previously on the bike or was off because we were working on it. And I saved one special thing for last. This gas cap. What is this thing? It's so weird. It's crazy. It fits on it and it fits it perfectly. I almost left it on because it was funny, but For this one, with all the chrome and this icy blue color, I gotta put a nice fresh chrome gas cap on it. If you made it this far, guys, I really appreciate you. Feel free to leave a thumbs up down below. I'd really appreciate that. That always helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, guys, ride safe.